Hello, my name is Fiona and I run a business called Sewgirl. Here I am in my studio, which is based on the south coast of England in a place called Worthing. And I just thought I'd do a little film talking about where I've come from, what I've done in the past. So I went to Brighton University in the early 80s. It was a 4-year course in the fashion, textiles and administration, which meant that I had a year out in industry, which was really good. And I came out of there with a rather glamorous collection of knitwear, which was picked up by some American department stores and rather chic stores in London as well, like Liberty, that kind of people. And so I spent the next few years producing a sort of designer sweaters, and I had a few outworkers, and I was based in London at that time, and it was a you know, the mid 80s. It was an exciting time. But then by 1986 I was suddenly offered a job in Paris, and for a company called Daniel Hechter. And so I upped and left London and went to live in Paris, thinking I was only going to stay a year, but I ended up staying 6 years. And we produced, I worked for a company, Daniel Hechter, and I worked for Georges Resch. And then I went on to work for quite a few seasons at a company called René Derry. And with them, I went out to Hong Kong and was working a lot with the factories out there, putting my designs into practice. So, then I came back to the UK in the early 90s, and I picked up from where I left off, which was quite a hard thing to do. But finally I sort of went to work for a company called Anne Tyrrell, who was a colour, trend and prediction agency. And it's the sort of work that I was doing a lot of when I was in Paris. So I continued on with that, and then I travelled a little bit in India. I went to Rajasthan and Jaipur and places like that, all by myself. Can't believe I did it. And then when I came back, I met my husband, had my twins, children, and decided that I really wanted to change. And I had completely fallen in love with fabric at this point and was making clothes for myself like there's no tomorrow. And I sort of got asked by some magazines to develop some projects for them, and ended up doing quite a few dressmaking projects for them, and that went on for quite a few years. Finally I got picked up by the Sewing Street, or the Sewing Quarter as it was known in those days, and I started to produce some dressmaking patterns under my own label, and they went down a storm. So my first pattern for Sewing Quarter was a design called Hilda. Here's Hilda, and this has got a sort of front pleat and a grown-on sleeve, very simple, you know, shift dress, tunic style. It's 2 side pockets, and are so simple. You know, it was a sort of complete beginner's project. Anyway, they just absolutely sold out every time we were on the program, and that really encouraged me to do more. So we currently got 20 plus patterns in the range, and we've also got a small range of accessories, including hats, bags, and some craft projects as well. So I'm going to be talking to you in the next few films about the patterns that I have in the range. So if you subscribe down there, you'll get a notification whenever there's a new film coming out. So look forward to seeing you then, and thanks for watching.